All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis, and I'll be your yoga instructor today. Welcome to Wild Blue Yonder Media. We're taking a little mid-season pause here from the Full Body Awakening series. We've completed the root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras, and we're just taking a quick little break to round those three up, kind of feel into that part of our body, flow through, and then we'll continue working our way up the chakra system. So thank you for joining me. Couple notes about our practice. Just notice where you're ready to extend into postures, where do you need to modify and come down to the mat, or perhaps just find a center posture. Also, keep in mind, I don't often cue water. So if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and then join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. Your legs can be crossed, they can be straight out in front of you. You can be up on a prop like a block or simply down on your mat. We'll wiggle back and forth, feeling ourselves root into the sits bones, and then we'll sit up nice and tall. Let's inhale as the shoulders come forward and up. Exhale as they come back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Hands come into that comfortable position, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. Closing the eyes if you'd like, or finding an unmoving point and soften your gaze. In the yogic tradition, there are 7 chakras known as the organizing centers for reception, assimilation, and transmission of life energies. The first 3 in this system are the root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras, in that order. These chakras all pertain to the most fundamental aspects of our human beingness, our basic needs like food, shelter, and safety, as well as the start of our psychological needs like belongingness. Much of our lives are experienced through these 3 chakras. When we have a gut instinct or a fire in our bellies or a yearning desire, we usually feel it in one of these 3 chakra spaces. Before we can ascend the chakra system and work toward a deeper state of consciousness, we must work with these chakras. They are the building blocks for the rest of the system. Only when we have our basic needs met, when we feel safe, and when we feel like we belong within our communities, can we continue to work with the other chakras in the system in a meaningful way. These 3 spaces also serve as an excellent starting point for our meditation practice. We begin with directed attention, focusing our attention on a single object, and then practice continuous attention, sustaining our attention on a single object. Finally, we practice resurgent attention, bringing the attention back to the meditation object every time we've noticed we've wandered away. Lastly, in working with these 3 chakras, we work with the 3 layers of our being, the Annamaya, Pranamaya, and Manomaya koshas, or the food body, energy body, and emotional body. In doing so, we create the conditions for connection with deep peace and ease amidst the backdrop of awareness to arise. As you move through your practice today, I invite you to bring your awareness into these 3 chakras, the root, sacral, and solar plexus areas. Notice sensations in the lower part of your body as you breathe and stretch. So settling in, taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhale the breath back out. Deep inhale, fill the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And slowly exhale the breath back out. Take another deep inhale, feeling your belly swell outward like a big balloon. And then exhale, draw that belly button in toward your spine. Inhale, feel the torso expand, the collarbones gently lift. And then exhale, feel the shoulders release down and away from your ears. Continue breathing in this way, inhaling and exhaling with intention, really noticing the movements of the breath here. Now, if you find that the mind wanders off and gets distracted by a thought, noise, physical sensation, that's okay. Practice those forms of meditation, the noticing, the returning, and then that continuous attention. Now, if it's helpful, perhaps incorporating a mantra here to help you stay grounded and focused on your breath. Inhale, I am safe and confident. Exhale, and authentic. Inhale, I am safe and confident. Exhale, and authentic. Remaining like this in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments today. Take another deep inhale here as you set an intention or a purpose for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale as you feel that intention with your heart and mind, and then exhale the breath out as you set the intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Lovely. Let's go ahead and remove our prop, setting it off to the side if you're using one here today. Coming onto your seat on the mat, legs can be crossed or straight out in front of you. We'll inhale, sweep our arms up overhead, cast the gaze skyward. Exhale, twist over to the left, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the body. Curve that head around into a seated twist. We inhale, return to neutral. Exhale, twist over to the left or right here. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the body. Curve the head around into a seated twist. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, twisting over to the left again, long through the spine, shoulders shrug down. Inhale, back into center. Exhale, over to the right, staying rooted through the sits bones. So we're really in the root chakra space right now. Great. And then inhale, come back into center. Exhale, left hand comes down to the mat, and then step it about a foot out to the left. Exhale, lean over to the left, reach through those right fingers, seated side bend. Pressing into that bottom hand to keep the right hip rooted onto the mat. You can drop down onto the forearm on the mat or a block if that's accessible. Shoulders are stacked, chest is open. Again, we're really feeling into that lower part of that body, that first chakra here, that rootedness, safety, sense of stability, security. Great. And then inhale, we come into center, switching sides, right hand down to the mat, step it about a foot out to the right, and then exhale, lean over to the right, reach through those left fingers, seated side bend. So again, pressing into that hand to keep the left hip rooted down. You can always drop onto the forearm on a block or the mat. Good. Really feeling that gorgeous opening through that side body. Whew, I think side body stretches are two of my favorite postures here. Good. And then we inhale back into center, reach those arms up tall. Exhale, hands come down onto the knees. We'll do some seated cat cows. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the movement of my spine here. So hands onto the knees. We'll inhale, sink the belly, lift the head, look up toward the sky, squeeze the shoulder blades for a seated cow. And then exhale, press the knees away, hollow out the back and the belly, coming into a seated cat. Inhale into cow, squeeze the shoulder blades, feel that arch through the spine. And then exhale into cat, feel the shoulder blades separate, look down toward the pelvis. And then inhale into neutral. Great work. Let's go ahead and come onto our hands and knees. And you may need your blocks here, so keep those nearby. And we're actually just going to start by stepping our right foot forward. Again, you may want to grab your blocks, bring them to either side of that front foot on the high side, and then shift your weight onto the back knee, straighten the front leg, flex that front foot. So we're pulling those toes in. Good. Blocks are about beneath the shoulders. It's a rough estimate, doesn't have to be perfect. We inhale as we lengthen through the spine, exhale as we hinge at the hips, and lean forward here, coming into dragon. Woo, we're feeling that stretch through the back of that right leg here. Oh my gosh. So taking a couple deep breaths here, continue to pull those toes in toward the shin. Lovely. And then inhale, go ahead, come forward onto that front foot, plant your right block out of the way, bring that left block onto the medium side to the inside of your ankle. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, turn the back heel down. Bring your hand to the inside of that ankle, straighten that front leg, and then inhale, sweep open with that left arm coming into triangle. So we're stacking the shoulders here, top shoulder and hip rotate backward, bottom presses forward. We feel a lovely stretch to the inside of the leg and that opening now through that sacral chakra space, right? So we're moving on up that chakra system. Good. Gaze can be up toward the sky, down at the side, or down toward the mat, whatever best supports your neck here today. Couple deep breaths. Good. One more deep inhale. Exhale, go ahead, bend that right knee nice and deep. Sweep that right arm up, sweep that left arm around the left leg. Reach up with that right arm coming into reverse warrior. So we're lifting through the torso, reaching that arm up and back. We're feeling that pulling open through that sacral chakra space. We're sinking into this front leg for some nice work in the legs here, right? We're squeezing toward the midline, lifting through the chest. Tailbone is slightly tucked here. Couple deep breaths. Good. And then inhale, go ahead, windmill those arms down, bring that back foot up onto the ball. Now you can sink the hips down. You can use blocks if you'd like, coming into this low lunge here. It's kind of a midway between the low lunge and the high lunge. Sinking those hips down, feeling that opening in that right hip flexor down into or left hip flexor down the top of the left leg, or you can drop that back knee here, making sure that your knee and ankle on the right side are in line with one another. So we're protecting that knee joint. Good. Couple deep breaths here. Great work. Go ahead, move your blocks out of the way, plant the hand, step back into your down dog, moving into that solar plexus space. Feel that area above the navel and below the solar plexus lift up here as we come into this kind of inverted position. So shoulders are shrugged down, press the chest toward the thighs. Let's take a nice deep inhale here. And then a nice deep exhale. Good. One more nice deep inhale. Good. Let's turn on that solar plexus chakra. So go ahead and lower into your plank pose. Hands beneath shoulders, balls of the feet are beneath the heels. You're one long line from the shoulders to the heels. Core is engaged. If you need, drop those knees, but keep them at an angle so you continue to work the hips here. Or I'm sorry, work the abs here. Good. We're feeling that solar plexus chakra fire up here as we engage our abs. If you need, you can come down onto the forearms as well. Taking a couple deep breaths here. Notice if you're like me, you're starting to lose your breath a little bit. It is a lot of work here. Feel that fire build. And then inhale, drop the knees, sink back into that child's pose, elongate the arms, forehead down to the floor. Coming into a mix of the postures here. We're feeling that groundedness of the root chakra as the tailbone reaches toward the floor. We're feeling that opening in the sacral chakra between the legs as we breathe. And we're noticing also as we breathe that movement, that engagement of the solar plexus chakra. Great. When you're ready, inhale, we come back up into center and we do it all on the opposite side. I'm going to rotate around so we can see one another. So left foot steps forward, grab your blocks if you'd like, shift your weight onto the back leg, straighten the front leg, flex the front foot. We inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, hinge the hips, lean forward here for dragon. Ooh, we're feeling it and it feels so good. So notice that stretch to the back of that left leg, pressing down with the heart center, keeping the toes moving in toward the shin. Great work. We inhale, come forward onto that foot, move your left block out of the way. Right block comes to the inside of the ankle. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, turn your back heel down. Left hand comes to that block on the medium side, straighten the front leg here, and then go ahead, sweep tall with that right arm, triangle on the opposite side. So shoulders are stacked, top shoulder and hip rotate backward. Bottom hip presses forward so we feel that nice stretch to the inside of that left leg here. Good. Bottom elbow and knee are slightly bent, taking a couple deep breaths. And again, you can look up toward the sky, down toward the side, or down at the mat, depending on what is best for your neck here today. Lovely. Inhale, bend that knee, sweep that left arm up as the right arm comes around the right leg, coming into your reverse warrior. So we're lifting through the torso, feeling that opening through the low abdomen here, sinking into that front knee, squeezing the legs toward the midline, strong through the back leg here. Couple deep breaths. Great. And then inhale, windmill those arms back down to the mat. Grab your blocks if you'd like. Bring that ball or that foot up onto the ball. Sink the hips down for your modified low lunge here, or kind of middle lunge, I suppose. Knee is in line with the ankle. Back heel is lifted. We're noticing that opening in the right hip flexor down into the quad here. Couple deep breaths. Great. And then inhale, step those blocks out of the way. Come back into your down dog here for a moment. Good. And then you can either stay here, or if you'd like, drop down onto the forearms coming into dolphin. So another great solar plexus chakra posture here. We're really feeling that lifting and that engagement through the solar plexus. Heels reach toward the floor, though they may be higher than they usually are in down dog. Shrug the shoulders down. Tuck the chin, look down toward the toes. You're much closer to the floor here. We're feeling that work through the shoulders. Couple deep breaths. Deep inhale. Exhale, drop those knees, sink right back into your child's pose, elongate the arms, forehead down to the floor. And tune into the body, notice what's present. Is there a particular sensation that's calling your attention? And if there is, where in your body does it reside? Just noticing. And when you're ready, inhale, come on up onto your hands and knees. We're going to make our way into a seated position. Going to do a little bit more firing up of the abs here in one of our favorite postures, boat pose. So we've got a few options here today. So coming onto your seat, knees are in little mountain, soles of the feet are on the floor. Couple options. You can engage the core and lean back. You've got boat. You could lift one leg or the other, both legs, or high boat. Find that position that feels the most meaningful for your hands here. And then breathe. We're engaging that core. We're really feeling, especially that solar plexus chakra space, really fire up here. We're lifting through the torso. We're squeezing those knees toward the midline as if we're holding a block between our legs here. Good. Breathing. Deep inhale. Exhale, drop those soles of the feet, wrap the arms around, bring the chest into the knees, lift the gaze and torso for a seated cow. And then exhale the forehead down to the knees, hollow out the back and the belly for a seated cat. Good. And then inhale up into neutral. Great work. We're going to make our way onto our back. So if you need to, towel off, grab a drink of water, put on socks or a jacket for final relaxation. Now is your moment. We will not sit up for the rest of our practice here today. So coming on down onto our back, tuck the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the hands or the knees or the legs. Maybe rock from side to side for a little roly-poly action if that feels good for you. I know it always feels so good for me. Lovely. And then coming into stillness, let's go ahead and drop those soles of the feet down to the floor. Find a little opening here for this lower part of the body. We're going to come into reclined bound angle, so allow the knees to fall open wide, soles of the feet come together. Now that sacrum, the backside of your hips, rests down on the mat, so making adjustments as you need. And if this is too much too soon, you can always take your blocks and bring them underneath your knees at whatever height feels best to you to support that opening. And as you get more comfortable, you can always sink deeper in. So notice what feels right for your body today. If you'd like, you can bring your hands down onto your hip bones here. Just take a moment to really tune into this lower part of the body, essentially from that solar plexus part of your body downward. Take a moment and just tune into sensation in these parts of the body. Notice if there's a sense of groundedness, expressiveness, ease, stability, calm. Maybe it's an emotional state, or maybe it's just more of a felt sense in the body here. It's not a right or a wrong answer. Instead, I'm just really asking you to tune in and start to notice when I spend time in these parts of my body, what does that feel like? Maybe something's coming up that needs to be addressed, whether it's tightness or an emotion or a thought, even a memory. Moving into our final relaxation, you can remain right here if you'd like. You could extend one leg or the other for fallen tree. You can extend both legs for traditional final relaxation. Arms can stay where they are, or you can find a different position. Notice what feels right. You can also lay on your side or on your belly if that feels more comfortable, or you can return to a seated position if you'd like. Just treat this final part of practice like a seated meditation. So as we settle in here, just tune in. Notice that natural rhythm or cadence that the breath settles into, the rise and fall of your belly, the rise and fall of your chest. See if you can be totally present with your breath. And again, if your mind wanders off, it is okay. Notice the moment you've gone away and then see if you can come back to the breath, back to focusing on the inhales and exhales, of just being fully present in this moment. If it's helpful, again, you can return to that mantra we use at the beginning of practice. Inhale, I am safe and confident. Exhale, and authentic. Inhale, I am safe and confident. Exhale, and authentic. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments today. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know I'm watching the time and I respect yours, and I will let you out of this posture before the end of practice. So lean back, let go, and just rest right here. Every second has in itself many jewels, and each minute, each second is itself a jewel. Let us profit deeply from each moment that is given to us to live. Bringing your awareness back into the space, taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale, fill the belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another inhale as you begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, move your arms and legs, gently waking your body up. And when it feels right for you, rolling onto one side, pausing there with an arm or a hand beneath your head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take a nice deep inhale as you make your way on up into a seated position, and we close out our practice together today. So finding your comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. We inhale, draw the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, drop them back and down. Hands come into a comfortable position, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap, or at heart center. Closing the eyes if you'd like. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth, for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide to do this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this mid-season break where we dove into the root, sacral, and solar plexus chakras. Next week, we're getting into the heart space, all about love, baby. So please do join me. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow Wild Blue Yonder Media on YouTube, and like and share this with a friend. If you know someone who would appreciate the practice or perhaps needs to get into their bodies, send this to them. That's how other people learn about me. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next practice. Bye.